Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Down the Rabbit Hole News. I am the Rabbit. Listen, we have a couple of updates happening right now as it pertains to the whole Liam Payne situation. Why don't we start with the first one that I think is just really upsetting? So we had a journalist by the name of Tomás Mier, or as we call it, Mierda, from Rolling Stone, right? And he basically, I feel like he couldn't just wait to write an article about what was going on with, this appeal and the filings and stuff like that. And so he kind of just wanted to gloat a little bit about what has happened in Argentina with the case without really knowing about Argentinian law. And essentially let the fans know that there was an appeal denial and that was it, the case is done. Well, my understanding, at least from the prosecutor side of Argentina, is that they're going to appeal this case to a higher court. That is what is happening. But it had a lot of us kind of upset because here you have the prosecutor's office with a bigger presser about the situation. And then here you have this journalist who wanted to make sure that he got a little exclusive, put it out there, whatever. Even the local articles, the local sources weren't even repeating the things that Rolling Stone was saying. I don't know. It's either this guy doesn't know about the Argentinian law, which is fine. I don't as well. But it sounds like the Argentinian courts are still going to move forward to file to appeal to a higher court. Okay, which I think is great. And, we'll definitely keep an eye out with all of this. Okay. Now, I want to do a little update. Shout out to this subscriber. So, the subscriber that gave me a heads up wrote me an email and basically said, hey, that there was an update on March 7th regarding Roger's lawsuit against Jeff. Jeff and his attorney have issued statements. I've attached the documents to this email just in case. Let's start with Exhibit A. And this is what we have so far. Okay. So, in Exhibit A, it says, declaration of Geoff Payne's in support of motion to dismiss. Okay, Geoff Payne makes this declaration on personal knowledge. I have personal knowledge of the facts stated below, and I'm competent to testify concerning these matters. I have reviewed the complaint filed by plaintiff in this action and allegations contained here. Then, okay, so this is a declaration from Jeff, and he basically says, "I'm a citizen of the United Kingdom, and I reside in the United Kingdom. I am not domiciled in Florida. I do not consent to be subject to any forum's jurisdiction. I have not been a resident of Florida. I have never owned property in Florida. I do not have a Florida driver's license. I have not registered to vote in Florida. I do not own businesses in Florida. I've never conducted any business in Florida, nor have I ever done business in Florida. I have never had an office in Florida, nor have I ever worked out in Florida. I've never otherwise engaged in any persistent course of conduct in Florida. I was not present within Florida when I was served with the process of this case. I have never been registered with the Florida Division of Corporations to do business in Florida or licensed in Florida. I do not have an agent appointed for service of process in Florida. I have never been employed in Florida by I've never been employed by a Florida business. I do not make phone calls to anyone in Florida or otherwise communicate with any Florida residents in connection with the issues in this case or other than communicating with my attorneys in regards to this lawsuit. So I guess he's just trying to establish that he does not have any ties in Florida, and therefore, why is he being sued in Florida? Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Florida activity. Since 1998, from time to time, I vacation in Florida, usually in Orlando and Kissimmee. In 2004, I flew to Florida to board a cruise. In May 2024, I visited Florida as a father to support my son Liam Payne. My presence in Florida was temporary and only for the purposes of being with my son. During this time, I had no involvement with the medical care of my son Liam Payne. Okay, this is important. During the time, I had no involvement with the medical care of my son Liam Payne. Argentinian sworn statements. I provide a testimonial declaration to the competent authorities in Argentina on the confidential basis in connection with an ongoing criminal investigation by the Argentinian authorities. The Argentinian sworn testimonies. I was not present in Florida when I made the Argentinian sworn testimonies, nor were the people to whom I've made the statements. I do not direct any of the alleged defamatory statements in reference in the complaint towards Florida. Huh. So basically saying I didn't make the alleged defamatory statements in Florida. It was a sworn declaration from Argentina. Okay. I have not taken any action in Florida as it pertains to the Argentinian sworn testimonies. I gave the Argentinian sworn testimonies what I was presented in Argentina. I gave my Argentinian sworn testimonies to the Argentinian authorities for their use exclusively in the criminal investigation, meaning that I only gave the information to the Argentinian authorities for their investigation, for the criminal investigation. He didn't release it to the public. Okay. Important point to make, given that Rogelio Nortes, in my opinion, has probably released, at least with TMZ, potentially information. I mean, Brian Bias was doing it. Allegedly, I'm thinking, in my opinion, that this could have happened, but I don't know. I wasn't there. So it's not fact. I gave the Argentinian sworn statement strictly and exclusively for the use in the Argentinian criminal investigation of Liam Payne's death. Argentinian sworn statements were confidential, and I was advised by the Argentinian authorities that the statements were confidential. Well, they became of public knowledge the minute that Rogelio Nortes filed the lawsuit and included those statements in the lawsuit. Okay, they became for public view, because in Florida, in the United States, I mean, a lot of this is of public record and matter. So he's putting this in here that give he didn't just release this sworn statement to the Argentinian authorities. It was given directly to them, not to the media. Okay. I never intended or authorized anyone to publish, republish, circulate, and or recirculate the Argentinian sworn statements. I have not given any interviews to the press or any media outlet since Liam Payne's death. I do not operate on any of the websites or media outlets on which the Argentinian sworn statements were published, republished, circulated, and recirculated, nor did I consent to the publication, republication, circulation, or recirculation. I would be heavily burdened by having to defend a lawsuit in Florida. Listen to this. I would be heavily burdened, in addition to having to deal with the death of his son and all of that's come out of that. He would be heavily burdened by having to deal with the lawsuit in Florida that he had to defend himself. I do not engage in substantial or not isolated activity within Florida. I do not own or lease any real estate property in Florida. I do not earn any money in Florida, nor have I been required to pay taxes in Florida. I do not have an office, telephone, or address in Florida, nor do I receive telephone messages or mail in Florida. I have not committed torturous acts in the state of Florida. I have not caused any injury to the plaintiff anywhere, nor in the state of Florida. I have not purposely availed myself of the privilege of conducting any activities within Florida that relate whatsoever to plaintiff's claims. I have not agreed to submit to the jurisdiction of any court in Florida, and I have not done anything to reasonably anticipate being hailed into a court in Florida. Because I reside in the UK, United Kingdom, my family, including my wife and children, I would have to bear substantial financial and personal burden in defending the instant lawsuit in Florida. I have counsel in Argentina, and if this action is dismissed in Florida for forum non-convenience, I will not assert a forum non-convenience defense as base for dismissal of this lawsuit in Argentina. I preserve all other defenses. So he signs this under the penalty of perjury. All right. So this was Exhibit A, and that is his declaration in support of motion dismiss. Okay. So let's go to Exhibit B. Okay. And Exhibit B is 1 through 5. All right. And 1 through 5, and there's only 5 pages, so it's not too lengthy to kind of review. Declaration of Fernando Fravega. So Fernando Fravega, is an attorney, I believe, in Argentina. Yeah, he practices in Argentina. So this is what he writes in support of motion to dismiss. Background: I'm over the age of 18 and competent to testify in this matter. My name is Fernando Fravega. I'm an attorney admitted to practice in Argentina. I'm an attorney with DMO Abogados, a law firm located in Avenida Presa, and it's got the address there. I practice in criminal law, criminal litigation, and have extensive experience presenting local and international clients. Prior to joining the DMO Abogados, between 2016 and 2024, I was a senior associate of the white collar crime department of Marvel O'Farrell in Marial Law Firm in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So between 2001 and 2016, I'm a public official servant serving in various offices in the criminal court system. So he's kind of giving his resume here. I also served as an advisor to the Minister of Justice in Argentina. I have a law degree in Buenos Aires University. I have taken several courses in international academics like Washington College of Law, American University, Salzburg School of Law, London University College, and again, listing is academics there, which we don't really need to go into this, but apparently he is fluent in English. So here's the criminal proceedings. Pursuant to the Argentinian Federal Court of Criminal Procedure, Article 204, the documents contained within federal criminal proceedings are public for parties involved in the matter for their attorneys, but are always sealed and confidential to any strangers or third parties. A copy of the excerpt, Article 204 of the Argentina National Code of Criminal Procedure, with its true and accurate translation, is below. Oh my God! Thank God that they translated, so it's in Spanish, then it's in English. You can read it in Spanish if you want, but I'm going to read the one in English for the purposes of us over here. Article 204, the investigation shall be public to the parties and their counsel, who may examine it after the investigation without prejudice to the right established in the second paragraph of Article 106. But the judge may order secrecy by reasoned decision whenever publicity jeopardizes the discovery of the truth, with the exception of definitive and reproducible acts, which will never be secret. The order to seal may not last more than 10 days and shall be decreed only once, unless the seriousness of the facts or the difficulty of the investigation requires it to be extended one more time. However, it may be decreed again if additional accused appear in the matter. The investigation will always be secret from strangers. Okay, and then they're listing some sources, legislation information. Okay. The sworn statements were provided on a confidential basis in accordance with the Article 204. As a result, I have no access to sworn statements as they are confidential to any third party. Okay, so if we're talking about confidentiality, he's saying that in Argentina, all of these statements, like the affidavits and everything that Geoff Payne submitted to the Argentinian authorities, that was sealed. Okay, but it became unsealed the minute that he used that. Rogelio Norris used that in his defamation lawsuit, right? So all of that became public. Rogelio Norris' argument to this has been, well, he defamed me in his sworn statement to the Argentinian authorities.
So when you're going for that and you talk to a prosecutor in some like random country, like maybe you say things that are not true, right? And obviously that
maybe you say things that are not true. What part? He gave communication. He sat there and he gave a statement about what he saw, what he encountered. Please remember that the defamation lawsuit is essentially Rogelio Norris is accusing Geoff of lying to the police in Argentina. That's what Rogelio Norris is saying in that lawsuit. That's what Rogelio Norris is saying. But there's email communication of you.
That led to him saying, oh, Roger was a caretaker. This is all Roger's responsibility and all the stuff that you guys already know. And that's what started the whole thing. I think now, if something with this ruling, I'm really hoping that we can like wrap up everything and put everything behind, because a lot of them, I think most of them are really nice people and they're just dealing with something that is really not normal.
Then that happened in Argentina. Why not sue him in Argentina? Why sue him in Florida? That's what I guess I'm confused. And you would think that a lawyer would have said this, like, Geoff Payne is making the argument, guys, like, this is financial burden for me. And also, I don't live in Florida. Why am I being sued in Florida? Why? That is the question that I have, is why is Geoff Payne being sued in Florida? If you guys can, if I have an attorney here, shout out to my wonderful attorneys. Love y'all, but let me know, why would they sue him in Florida? That's the question that I have. Okay. Um, let's see. The criminal case in Argentina in which the sworn statements were given is open and ongoing. It is open and ongoing. So this is interesting. The criminal case in Argentina in which the sworn statements were given is open and ongoing. There's not a lot of information that a lot of us in the public can get, and I feel like we're relying on a lot of folks. Argentina is the proper forum for this action, says Geoff Payne's lawyer. The vast majority, if not all, the documents is pertaining to the sworn statement. The witnesses and the evidence surrounding the truth of the sworn statements are in Argentina. The law applicable to the provision of the sworn statements are Argentinian laws applicable, Argentina Federal Criminal Code provisions, or Argentina Criminal Procedures provisions. These Argentinian laws bears the procedure requiring testimony, the ability or requirement of the witnesses to provide testimony or corporate with the authorities, the confidential nature of the testimonies in the matter in which these witness testimonies are taken and given. So all of those authorities are out there. That is the question is I'll ask, why would he sue in Florida and not sue in Argentina if he's saying that um, the statements that were given in Argentina, right? And that he lied in these statements. Okay. The individuals that witnessed the sworn statements given are also Argentinian residents or Argentinian public officials or attorneys. These witnesses are not subject to the compulsory process of the court in Florida. These witnesses cannot be compelled to appear by subpoena or respond to any third party documents requests, making it difficult or impossible to secure their testimony in Florida. Additionally, the Argentine courts have original jurisdiction over any action predicated on the sworn statements made in Argentina. And Argentinian law provides for recovery for defamation and slander, and thus Argentina is able to act as the proper venue for this case. Further, Argentina has a public interest in this action as it concerns the legal effects of the statements given to the Argentinian government officers, the ramifications of those statements, and the Argentinian criminal investigatory process in general. This case, therefore, affects the Argentinian community far more than it affects the state of Florida. Also, Section 275 of the Argentinian Penal Code establishes a prison sentence of 1 month to 4 years for any witness, experts, or interpreter who states a falsehood or denies or conceals the truth in whole or in part in his or her testimony, reports, translation, or interpretation made before the competent Argentinian authorities. In turn, if the false statement is committed in a criminal case to the detriment of the accused, the penalty provided is from 1 to 10 years in prison. So if Geoff if is found to have lied in anything that he said to the criminal court, he could be held liable criminally. This is what it's saying. In light of the above mentioned, the source of proof surrounding the content of the sworn statements and all evidence regarding the matter in which they were given are in Argentina. The witnesses are employed of the Argentinian government and or other individuals involved in the Argentinian criminal case, which may or may not have the visa, time, or ability to travel to Florida. The premises where the death occurred and the sworn statements were given are in Argentina, and Argentina can adequately serve as a more convenient forum for the case as it has jurisdiction over the case, is home to the witnesses, provides relief for the case of libel and slander, and possesses a public interest in hearing cases involving statements given to its government officers within Argentina. And this attorney signs this. Okay, so there's another exhibit, and the exhibit that is provided is actually the Rolling Stone article C. Excuse me, exhibit. So the exhibit C is the whole Rolling Stone article that we've already reviewed and talked about. It's very lengthy, that whole expose that they did. Okay, so that is part of their exhibits. And that's that. There's nothing else to it, to these filings. Maybe the reason why they put this in here is kind of to show that it was Rogelio Nores' his own declaration that he submitted to the Florida court that was made public because it's a public record and we've all reviewed it. Um, this is why the information went as viral as it did. But I guess the question is this: Rogelio Notice is saying that people defamed him based on the things that were said on his declaration and articles that were written from his very declaration, that he lied to the Argentinian authorities. Okay. And Geoff Payne's lawyer is saying, well, if that is the case, go file the case in Argentina, because that's where the jurisdiction exists. And if that is the case, have that be investigated, because he could be held criminally liable in Argentina. Guys, what do you make of this? I mean, the question is, why would Rogelio Notice file this case in Florida? Question number one. If this man has no business here, yes, Liam Payne might have lived in Florida for a brief time, whatever that was, but that's Liam Payne. That wasn't Geoff Payne, his father. And and what do you guys think of Thomas Mierda? And yes, I said mierda. For those that don't know what mierda means, it means shit in Spanish. Why do you think that he would write such a crazy ass article without asking, his coworkers of the other publications? Like, is he trying to slander? Is he working opposition? That's what I want to know. These journalists be doing the most, like the TMZs, Rolling Stones, the Suns, and then all these people around them. Allegedly, in my opinion, I wasn't there. I don't know. What does BJ say? Fact saying defamation? And neither is reading an article. Shout out to our girl. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.